Hi everybody, we got a bent shifter shaft on this 2024 CRF110. We're going to fix it right now. A couple parts you're going to need. There's a special tool to remove the clutch nut. It looks like one of these. You're obviously going to need the new shaft, and you don't have to, but I do recommend putting a new oil seal in. I recommend getting a new gasket. And then to stop this from happening again, we're going to install this brace that strengthens up the shifter shaft quite a bit. This one's got an aftermarket skid plate we got to get off. It's a 6mm Allen for the back two bolts. And there's a 10mm bolt on the front on each side. Next, drain the oil out of it. This 17mm drain bolt on the bottom. While that's draining, let's get this rear brake lever off. 14mm. Pull this Carter pin out and the brake lever will come off. It's four 12mm bolts that hold on the foot pegs. We already took the front two out because they were holding on the skid plate. Now we just got to take the back two out. Next, there's a 10mm on the kickstart lever. And then there's 10 8mm bolts around this clutch cover that you're going to remove. I'll take out these clutch pieces, set them aside. Centrifugal clutch and the clutch pack and this little shield all have to slide out together. Start with the two 10mm on the bottom that hold this shield to the case. There's a lip back there that prevents you from taking the shield all the way out. Then you can hit these four 10mm on the main clutch. Rotate the clutch to get to that last one. Take out these three 8mm bolts to give you access to the nut that holds this centrifugal clutch in. There's a tab on this lock washer that'll be folded in to make sure this nut doesn't rattle loose. You gotta bend that out with a punch. You'll need one of these Honda clutch sockets. Ready to slide all three of these parts out at once. Next, we got to tilt the bike over and we got to cut that bent shaft off the other side. There's one 10mm bolt on the shifter itself. And there's two 8mm to take off this front sprocket cover. Gosh, I really should have washed this before I started working on it. The shifter's bent up and back. I'm sure most bends will be that same direction. You can either bend this back straight so you can push it out the hole, which I suspect if you're willing to risk bending it straight, you probably don't need to change the shaft at all. I'm not sure how strong this is. I'm not sure how much of a risk it would be to just bend the shaft back straight. Since the customer's paying me, I'm going to do whatever they want, and I think it's probably the best to change the whole shaft to a new one. To avoid putting a bunch of stress on the case by bending the shaft back straight, we're going to go ahead and cut it off real flush. I'm going to put a little bit of this 10mm tape over the engine number. You could use masking tape or really whatever you wanted to do. I'm going to start with the 4-inch cutoff. Bend it a couple times and it'll break off. I got into the case a little bit. If you hammer it through with a punch, you're just going to scrape up the insides of the cases where the shaft rides. It's probably not too big a deal as long as you cut off most of the bend. But I think we can do a little better than that. So I'm going to clean this up a little with the Dremel. Clean it real well before you expose the inside of the engine to any of those particles. Outer wall is where the oil seal has to seal against, and if if you bump it too many times with the Dremel tool, you're going to have an oil leak there. You'll have to use your own judgment on how much time to spend with the Dremel versus how much tension there is, you know, hammering the shaft through the cases. Kind of see how much is left on there. I would have had to grind quite a bit deeper, but I wasn't real comfortable. I was too worried about getting into this sealing wall here. Well, now we're ready for the new oil seal. I like to put a little grease on it. I got this deep well 14mm that fits perfectly. So get it started. With a socket and a rubber mallet, I'm just going to set it in flush with the case. Now we got the bike leaned back over to the other side. Grease on those splines. They can be a little sharp, and you don't want them destroying your seal when you shove it through. Be real gentle. Now don't forget, you got 3 pieces. You got the centrifugal clutch and the main clutch and this little shield that has to go on already on the clutch. Now at this point, before you put these nuts on, get a good look back in here. These 2 gears can get misaligned. The order how you put this back together doesn't matter too much, but I'm going to start with this shield down here. These are the 2 10mm. Taking these M6 bolts with the 10mm head to about 100 inch-pounds. Now on these nuts, I just run them tight with an impact. I use the smaller impact, the little construction one you get. And they do make a tool that you can put in here between the gears, and so you can actually use a torque wrench on that. Don't forget to replace the tab on the locking washer. Now we're ready for this throwout plate on the main clutch. These smaller bolts had a little bit of blue Loctite on them, so I'm going to replace that blue Loctite when I put this back together. And I'm going to do 60 inch-pounds on these smaller bolts. So now we're ready to put on the clutch linkage. As you slide this onto the splines, you want it to line up with this plus symbol on the arm. You may also notice that there's a dot right around these splines, and that goes straight up. On the old one, there was a line that you would line those 2 up, but this new shaft doesn't have the line. So go with lining the arm up with that plus symbol. Depending on whether you took this out as you removed the clutch housing, or if you left it in, doesn't really matter. I think it's easiest to reassemble this into the clutch housing before we put it back together. There's a hole that this piece goes into, and just put that nut on finger tight. Now I know it's tempting when the gasket comes off all in one piece like this to leave it, but you gotta inspect it really good. Look at this little tear. It might not think it's a big deal. This is a pressurized oil passage that goes up to the top end of the bike. With a tear like that, you're gonna reassemble it, and it's gonna be losing oil pressure right out there back into the case. So it won't be leaking outside the bike, but you'll have less oil pressure going up to the head. You can see the little bit of the gasket left right here. And this is the oil passage that goes up and feeds the cam and the valves. If you have some pieces of gasket that are really stubborn, I recommend a knife sharpening stone. Sand off the remaining pieces of gasket. Having a clean gasket surface is one of the most important things you can do on most any mechanic project. This bike only has the 1 pressurized port on the clutch housing, but a lot of bikes will have 2 or 3 ports that transfer oil between the cases and the clutch housing. It's really convenient on the 110. All 10 of the bolts for the clutch housing are all the same length. Take a good look around before you put all the bolts in. Make sure the gasket is right where it's supposed to be all the way around. With this clutch adjustment, make sure the nut is loose, and then back the screw all the way out, and then go in a 1/4 turn and tighten the nut up. Now the rest of this you're going to reassemble the same way you took it off. Some fresh grease on there for your brake lever. Well, that's it for the right side of the bike. Now we got to go over and put the shifter on. This BBR kit replaces the stock case saver and cover. Instructions, if you want to pause it there. The instructions don't mention that you need to remove the foot pegs. And you have to remove 3 bolts out of the stator cover. It's these rear 2 and this bottom one. These will get replaced by these fancy titanium bolts. Put this case saver on first and let it dangle there while we put on the support. While we have the case saver sandwiched in there, we're going to put in the bolt for this bottom. This goes through the support and through the case saver. Now I'm going to install these special bolts with this extended collar. And they go through this support bracket. And last, this new sprocket cover. This bolt goes through all 3 pieces. £100 I like to run my shifters pretty high. It keeps them up out of the dirt more. The support fills this gap between the case and the shifter. It's going to be much stronger. Takes 1.1 quarts. Well, that's it for that job. It's really not too bad of a job if you take your time, have some patience. And if you haven't bent the shifter shaft yet, I do recommend getting a brace. They stick out so far from the case, there's a lot of leverage on there. It's bound to happen eventually. Thanks for watching. Next, I think it's a Royal Enfield Himalayan that I'll be putting back together. See you guys then.